and an author. Thank you very much for joining us on our program.
Thank you very much, Colin.
Well, first of all, let's just get your perspective concerning events such as the World Economic Forum, talking about the issues that concern the economy of the African continent. Do you think that this talk, although there's nothing wrong with talking, but then does this talk translate to action?
So, Colin, for me, we appreciate what is happening with the World Economic Forum. But to a certain degree, I believe sometimes there's too much talk and less action. And for me, my concern is normally as Africans, we continue to wait even for the West to bring us together to discuss issues that affect us. And the question is, what are we doing ourselves as Africans? Why is it so impossible for us to come together and discuss African issues that affect us and come up with African solutions that will resolve our challenges in Africa?
Now, talking about African solutions, we heard organizations like ECOWAS and the SADC region, for example, talking about industrial revolution and reindustrializing the African state. Do you see that happening in a short while?
So for me, this is bigger than regional economies. So this is about Africa. And we see more people talking, but we don't see results. I mean, a simple thing. Why in Africa don't we have a development bank for Africa, run by Africans? The bank that understands the needs of Africans. I mean, a simple thing. Why don't we have beneficiation centers in Africa? Because we are good with commodities and minerals, and yet we continue to take them to the West. Can it take us so long for us to at least put one beneficiation center so that we process these minerals within Africa? Is it that we don't have enough money to just set up at least one beneficiation center that will serve the whole continent?
Let's talk about Africans being consumers of most products of the world, and rather than being manufacturers of those products. What is your view with regards to that? Because in recent years, we've heard that we are importing more than we are exporting as South Africa.
Yes. So the problem is the West knows that we are loyal consumers. They know for sure that anything that they bring to Africa, we will consume and will be loyal to that. And it's a question of the historical impact that we have had from the colonization eras and all that. But that has to change. Now Africa needs to stand up. I mean, the whole of Africa, we don't have a car that we can call our own. And yet we're importing cars from Germany. We've got your BMs, we've got your Mercedes, and we can't show one car that we've manufactured within Africa and taken to the world. It is a challenge.
Now, in your book, Blacks Only, you have categorized the South African populations into 3 or 4, if I'm not mistaken. You're talking about the dreamers, the maintainers, and the achievers.
Yes.
At what level of society are these people placed?
So obviously a majority of black people are poor. Those are the dreamers. Those are the people that wish to have a better life or a good life. And then you've got the middle class, where you've got the emerging black people who are into corporate South Africa, who are running their own businesses. And then you've got your achievers. Those are the people that are in corporate, your CEOs, and the people who are into tendering business. And I'm saying all these 3 groups of people need to work together. Somebody who is an achiever needs to realize that I need to do something to change my community. I cannot just be there and stand alone and celebrate myself. I need to go and look and see what can I do to develop my community.
But is that happening?
Not much. You see, in black communities, we've got this syndrome that says, I need to shine alone. Once you have acquired and amassed your wealth, you are not willing to help somebody down there. And that's our downfall as black communities.
Now, there's this tongue-in-cheek approach whereby people say that I've worked hard for my achievement and therefore I have a right to flaunt it. So I see nothing wrong with being an achiever and having a double-story house at a squatter camp. What's your view regarding that?
So there is nothing wrong. Everybody that works hard for his money, he must enjoy his money. But you must remember, you are staying next to that person who's poor, who's unemployed. And that's the very same person that's going to break into your house. That's the very same person that's going to hijack your car. So it has implications, whether you help or you don't help, somehow it affects you as a fellow black South African.
Right. Now, when the World Economic Forum winds up and comes up with resolutions, what is it that you'd like to see happening to an ordinary African on the street?
You see, for me, if the West have got interest in Africa, three things they need to talk about. They need to talk about how they can help Africa set up its own development bank that will look after infrastructural development in Africa. Secondly, they need to talk about how they can help Africa set up beneficiation centers so that the minerals that we extract from the ground are processed in Africa. And thirdly, the other thing that is a concern for me is your rating agencies. Remember, these rating agencies are from the West. Now, they are coming to tell us that we are not doing well and all that. But can't we have our own rating agencies in Africa? These are the questions that we need to start asking and start doing things for ourselves as Africans.
All right. Thank you very much for your perspective. I wish we could take this discussion longer, but I really appreciate you making time to speak to us right here on News Today.
Thank you very much, Colin.
All right.